Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of MidRank Madness. This is a game between KaaRYN and KMax on Overgrowth, the latter edition. In the top right side of the map, we have the red Protoss player. It is KMax. And in the bottom left side of the map, we have the blue Terran player. It is KaaRYN. Spinny Terran logo there, appropriate for the race which he is choosing to play. And both players' names start with a K, which I feel like doesn't happen very often, so kind of like some kindred spirits here. Really enjoying their time together in this game. They're pretty friendly, opening up for sure. So, for those of you who are unaware, this is MidRank Madness. It is an examination of gold, platinum, and diamond level replays sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of MidRank Madness. I send them to my screeners, the best ones come back, and I choose to cast those for enjoyment and education of all involved. I just felt like that segment of StarCraft 2 players was fairly neglected by the casting community. Everybody likes to watch the lobies, everybody likes to watch the pros and the GMs, but you know, Master, Platinum, Gold, Diamond, just not a lot of love for them. So I figured, oh, you know what? Most players live in those latter areas. They do. Most StarCraft 2 players are in there. So I figured we need to give them some attention, so I cast 2 MidRank Madness games every single week, which is very, very fun for me, and hopefully it is also very, very good for you. So, Rax first here out of KaaRYN, and it is a Reaper, very brave, going for the Reaper, but actually is going to get a free probe kill out of that. So you know what? Free probe kills are always nice. Probe is scouting here, will never make it back home before that Reaper chases it down and murders it. This Reaper's name is going to be Pete. Aw, the request was, will you name a Reaper Pete after my dog? And I said yes. Oh, the supply depot block. You're not going home, Probe. You're dying here. You're dying in this main base, SCV says, throwing down a supply depot to wall off that ramp. All right, so Pete the Reaper, named after somebody's dog. I have a hard time watching a Reaper die if it's named after somebody's dog. That makes me feel bad on the inside. Oh, this is actually a Platinum versus Platinum game. I forgot to mention that. I did watch the loading screen this time and saw what color their portraits were. This is definitely Platinum versus Platinum. So now the problem for our Reaper Pete is that he's moving on up to the main base of KMax, and he's going to run into an Adept, a Mothership Core, and maybe another Adept by the time he gets up there, and it's just so hard. All of those things so good against Reapers for different reasons. KaaRYN is expanding behind this. The Reaper Expand has been popular for years and years. There's a reason for it. It is good. It is good. Mothership Core is out. And KD8 charge blowing something away there. Staying out of the range of the pylon a little bit there. Pete is a smart Reaper. I like how smart he is. Check for an expansion. Check. Oh, he did actually check for an expansion because it's up here. He knows there's not an expansion. Good job, Pete. Good scouting. Expansion for KaaRYN is just about done. See, these players know what they're doing. Second refinery finish for KaaRYN as well. Throwing down a tech lab on his barracks. Got a factory done here. Making a Cyclone out of the factory. For a second there, I thought it was our double starport, double medevac drop at 5 minutes, but this Cyclone's going to slow that down if that's what the plan is. And if that's not the plan, then maybe Cyclones are part of the plan. Yeah, Cyclones are fun. They're fun. They hit hard against armored units. They do some damage against air. They used to just absolutely wreck air units, doing something like 800 total damage to shielded air units, which was insane. It's down to 160 now, which is maybe not as good as it should be, but still long range on that lock-on ability. Let's see if I can see how. Yeah, look how far that is. Look how far it is. Can you see the indicator of the lock-on sphere? Yep, that's why it's low damage. 160 damage over 14 seconds. And can move while firing as well, which is exactly another reason why. So 2 Adepts and a Mothership Core coming up to harass the front door of KaaRYN while there's expansion going on behind KMax. I don't know what you're going to do with 2 Adepts and a Mothership Core. That's what I'm going to say. There are Marines here. There's a Cyclone here. In production is a tank as well, but it's not here yet. And actually, KMax being a bit more of an annoyance than I thought he was possibly capable of being here. Lock-on ability happily used on that Mothership Core. Time Warp is tossed down on the section of the front door that's not walled off, and retreating. Retreating home is KMax. 56 hit points remaining on that Mothership Core. Good job chasing it away. Cyclone. Adepts didn't want to deal with that either, and they decided to go home as well. So took some damage off an engineering bay, which is quickly healed up. Quickly repaired by KaaRYN. Not using the engineering bays for anything right now. Dude, if these are for upgrades, you got to get them started. You got to get them started now. If they're for missile turrets, that's another thing. But nope. Robotics Bay coming in. Thank goodness for the Robotics Bay. I cannot tell you. Watching PvT without splash damage, it breaks my heart for Protoss. You need it. You need Disruptors, you need Colossus, or you need Archons or Templar. Those are what you need against Terran. If you're trying to go pure Gateway, you will lose. If you're trying to go Immortal, right, like an Immortal, Sentry, Stalker combination, you will lose. That's just a guaranteed loss at that point. Unless your macro is just light years ahead of your opponents, which can happen. Can happen where there are games where the macro is just way better than your opponent. You can do whatever you want and win. But yeah, you need Colossus or Disruptor or Templar or Archons to make this thing happen. Meanwhile, Terran player can do pretty much whatever they want. Marine Marauder, Tank's fine, Cyclone's pretty fine as well. I struggle to think of anything Terran can do that is bad against Protoss. Mass Marine's pretty great. I guess going Mass Marauder just because you can't shoot up is a problem, but yeah, even that can be pretty scary for Protoss here. So moving down with a largely Gateway army is KMax. He's got an Immortal in the group, which is nice. Immortals can sit in the back and pick off Marauders and things like that. Extra damage versus Marauders. Extra damage versus tanks. Actually, Cyclone coming up accidentally scouts that army and retreats back on down south and says, what up? There's a Protoss army coming, tapping that Zolong Watchtower on the left side of Overgrowth, left bottom-ish. And what do we got? We got tanks ready to go. Tank moving up in siege mode a little bit closer to get some shots off. There's a tank on the high ground here for the main base as well, overseeing this little choke point area leading into the natural. Killing his own unbuildable bricks also is KaaRYN, and KMax decides to head home. I don't know what he saw or didn't see to make him retreat here, but that's very interesting. That's very interesting from our Protoss player for sure. All right, so what are we working on here? Robotic space done. Disruptor completing. There we go. Disruptors. Not as good in like the GM pro levels just because this Disruptor shot, the Purification Nova, is pretty dodgeable. Pretty dodgeable against Terran. Especially considering Terran are just used to dodging. They're used to moving their units out of storms, out of banelings. And so dodging a Purification Nova is not a new skill that most Terrans have to learn. Although at the Platinum level, there's no guarantee that KaaRYN's dodging skills are as elite as somebody like Maru's or TY's. All right, so what do we got here? Medevac full of Marines. Moving on out, going up north to the main base to see what damage they can get done. Defending is not a Mothership core. There are a lot of pylons powering these structures, which is nice. We're kind of really together. Killing one pylon will not depower anything in this area, which I like to see. I like to see. Also, it's very difficult, really, for the Terran army to get in here and start killing stuff. It's just so packed together. Oh, but the army's moving out. Oh, KMax moving out at the wrong time. There was a drop right inside your main base. Here it is. Here now. There's +1. It has stim. Go. Go, go, go. Getting that mineral line. Don't worry about pylons unless, I guess you could supply block your opponent pretty badly. One pylon does end up falling. Another one going down too. Possibly trying to save himself from photon overcharge, but I don't know. Now going after probes. The photon overcharge does come in. Double photon overcharge coming in by the Mothership core. Getting some shots off. Almost killing that medevac. No, but getting out of range beautifully is KaaRYN here. And can I assume maybe KaaRYN's a girl with a name like KaaRYN? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. We're going to call KaaRYN a she from now on. Killing many probes here. Killing yet another pylon as the photon overcharge wears off. But no, the armor comes all the way back home for KMax. Don't leave the Marine. He doesn't leave the Marine behind. Almost loses the medevac, though. 8 hit points left on that medevac. She manages to evacuate that one Marine. Wow, never leave a man behind is the slogan there. KMax getting a 3rd Nexus at the same time here. Sign of a 3rd expansion for KaaRYN at all. Nope, macroing her face off. Really did not give her much time to expand, which is a problem because she's at 48 harvesters on 2 bases, which means you are way oversaturated. Way oversaturated right now. Please expand. Please build a new orbital command at some point. Marine tank is nice. I like the Marauders mixed in as well. I like the +1 infantry armor you've got. And the fact you're working on +2/+2 is also excellent. But +1 vehicle weapons, nice. But expand. You need to expand or you will die. There it is, making his 3rd command center finally. At the 50 harvester mark, it's just you need to expand a little bit more quickly than that. So KMax's army is adepts not with resonating glaives. If you have this many adepts, KMax, you have 13 adepts. You need to go resonating glaives. You just do. It's totally worth it. Totally worth it. A fake medevac for KaaRYN heading up to the left side here, perhaps trying to make KMax think that he's dropping, or she's dropping rather, but I don't know that KMax is paying attention actually. KaaRYN could have done some damage with that drop instead of fainting. Oh, that was funny. Tanks on the ground against the Stalkers moving in here. And I don't know if this is a good idea. Purification Nova does come in and hit those tanks. Oh, good time hits there. One of them, I think, died before it actually hit. But Marines and Marauders, tank splash all over these Stalkers. However, continuing to push through regardless of the casualties. Here is KMax taking down the engineering bay, canceling the +2 weapons attack upgrade. Oh, what is here for KaaRYN? I don't see anything near the natural base. SCVs forced to run for their lives. They're not attacking. I thought they were for a second, but they're not. A drop here by KaaRYN, though, inside the main base of KMax, trying to take out pylons. Is this going to turn into a really weird base race? Yep. More Marines for KaaRYN up here, assaulting the third base of KMax. So KMax has some units that are chasing SCVs instead of going after building structures here. He might... KMax is going to cancel the +2 armor upgrade. Oh... That was big. That was really big. But KMax is losing everything at this third base right now. All the probes are dying so quickly. Both players sitting at exactly 38 harvesters right now, which is kind of fun. Marines for KaaRYN. I think they're on autopilot. Photon overcharge killing a Marine and defense. Here in the main base, Medevac very close to getting hit by that photon overcharge range. Terran player pushing at this natural. Once again, more tanks are out. For KaaRYN, though, Disruptors walking into the front, not using Purification Nova. There's one available. Oh, how about you? Oh, you're dead anyway. Little pieces flying everywhere. Immortal needs to be used against the tank right now. Don't hit those Marines. Hit the tank. Get the tank. Yeah, no. Forced to retreat is KMax. Meanwhile, these Marines are slowly whittling down all the gateways that KMax has. A bunch of Stalkers coming in, though. No upgrades on the Stalkers, but there are several of them versus like 4 Marines. And a retreat by KaaRYN. So, wow, both players managing to hold off some fairly major attacks. Both players having lost a lot of workers. 26 probes killed, 12 SCVs killed at this point in time. The good news for KMax is that the third base is still here. KaaRYN's attempt at a third base was pretty much shut down. Was that... I don't think the command center even finished. I think either it was canceled or killed here at the natural base before it could be landed at the third base location. Whoosh. All right. Both players taking a bit of a breather. Both players trying to reestablish. Again, KMax's third being here is a big deal. Big deal. But KaaRYN not giving up. KaaRYN continuing to spend her money very well. KMax struggling a little bit with that. Having lost some production facilities, is replanting them at the backside of his base. A little bit farther away, perhaps, from drops in the future. Replacing that robotics bay also a nice deal. So I think we've established that KaaRYN is not super adept at dodging disruptor attacks. So perhaps KMax should continue pushing with its disruptor play. I think that's the plan. Which is, I guess there are more immortals coming in, but the robotics bay is just now finishing, and starting his first upgrade is KMax +1 ground attack here at the 12-minute mark. So there's another replacement, third command center for KaaRYN here at the natural base. Again, pretty much identical location to where the last one was before it was so just terribly destroyed in that attack. +2 vehicle weapons finishing. All right. So KaaRYN's got +2/+1 on her tanks, which is actually pretty fantastic. It's just the +1/+1 on the Marines and the Marauders. Wishes there were more. Marines coming into third base again. They own this third base. So many dead probes at this third. Absolutely amazing play. More probes. 36 probes have been lost. These Marines have stim with medevac support. Can they take down this Nexus here at the third? No. Forced to retreat. Get out of there, says KaaRYN. So many units are showing up, and you know what? That was probably the right decision. Probably the right decision. Don't want to lose a medevac and several Marines just because you're trying to take down a Nexus that you probably couldn't get anyway. I mean, if that was like a full 8 Marines with +1 in stim, I think they could have done it, but it was only 5. It was only 5. And only 1 medevac as well. So defending this with his life is KMax right now. Recognizing that Nexus is very, very low, and there's no way to improve that hit count. Oh, no. KMax came up and took out that medevac anyway. Hold up. Quick rewind. Oh, yeah. Medevac tried to sneak back in here. Stalkers said, nope. All you Marines that are unloading, you're going to die. And the medevac gets picked off as well. Good job. Good job there by KMax. All right. So we're still 3-basing it, but it is still 41 to 40 harvesters. Again, KaaRYN is super oversaturated. KMax barely saturated at his third base. Really need to transfer some probes over there as well. +1 attack finishing on the ground for KMax, and Observer coming in for KMax off that robotics facility, but already made 2 disruptors, and it's 110 to 95 total supply. So a lot of tanks on the ground, though. That is 7 tanks on the ground with +2 attack, +3 attack coming in next of all. Holy crikeys. Was that an SCV trying to build a missile turret? It looks like it was here at this gold base on KaaRYN's side of the base. All right, so tanks of the map. Tanks are setting up in a position to get some nice shots off should KMax wander over this way. What's their range here? Yeah, can cover this third base, which is changing to an orbital command pretty easily. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. Tank splash. Tank splash. Good retreat by KMax. Recognizing there are tanks. I have no interest. No interest in moving in there whatsoever. Blink being researched by KMax. +1 ground armor coming in as well. I almost feel like a switch to Skytoss here, which would be difficult, but KaaRYN has so many tanks and so few anything else right now. Only 20 Marines on the ground, which is not a big number. Not a big number at all. Double Stargate. Like I said, Blink coming into that Twilight Council. You know what? Maybe KMax is transitioning into Skytoss. Maybe indeed he is. All right. So we'll take a look at that. We'll watch that as it is happening. But third base happily established and mining for KaaRYN right now. Needed that about 10 minutes ago. Okay, not 10, closer to 8, but still 8 minutes ago, and just now getting it. Another drop. Moving up this left side. Medevac. About a 50% health medevac full of Marines. Moving up this left side. There are cannons, though. Oh, there are cannons at this third base. And a Templar Archives. Why put your tech at your third base? I don't understand the logic. I guess trying to... Void Ray's coming in. All right, Void Ray's not a bad idea against this many tanks. The Marines continue to come in for KaaRYN, though. So Disruptor shots on the Marines while Void Rays clean up the tanks, I think, is the idea for KMax right now. Anyway, I guess it makes sense if you're protecting the third base, because that is your most heavily mining base right now. A Templar Archives being there means it is also extra protected. Resonating Glaives coming in for KMax. Or as they like to say when they pronounce things correctly, resonating Glaives. Marines coming in, picking off these Adepts that are warping in. Slow warping because that's not touching the Nexus. Oh, third base, so many dead Adepts right there. So many dead Adepts. Stalkers coming in say, hey, you jerks, you leave our Adepts alone. Marines say, we will kill some of you as well, and overstim a little bit and die. So by some, I mean one Stalker. They know there's a medevac out here. KMax does. Goes over to shoo it away, possibly kill it, but nope, already escaping is KaaRYN with her medevac. All right, so Void Ray's coming in. Again, something in the sky to deal with all of these really well upgraded tanks. 85 damage versus armored. I mean, that's a 2-shot on a Stalker for sure, especially considering the upgrades are not as good on the Stalker. +2/+2 infantry weapons and armor being researched. Finally, after being abruptly cut short, cruelly cut short in the first 5 minutes of this game, they are now back on track to get +2 and +2. Fourth Nexus coming in for KMax as well. I feel like KMax needs a push a little bit. I feel like KaaRYN's kind of turtling. Well, as soon as I say that, she does pick up her siege tanks and move out, so never mind. Voider is coming in for KMax as KaaRYN is establishing a fourth base on this bottom right side of the map as well. So Voider is sneaking in. Oh, good placement of supply depot here by KaaRYN. Does manage to see this coming in time and pull the army back. Void Ray is not able to do as much damage as they could have. Could have canceled the fourth. Done a lot of work here in the third base as well. Missile turrets now coming up. KaaRYN is prepared for it because of that supply depot placement. That's exactly what it was. All right, Void Rays might still be able to get this fourth. KaaRYN, I don't know. Oh, actually accidentally canceled it, killing that SCV. It would be really smart for KaaRYN to cancel this right now. Just cancel your command center. It is so close to being done, I know, but now you're just going to lose the money for it. Oh, canceled at the very last second, KaaRYN. KaaRYN. Just, wow. Waiting till the very last second there. Storm coming in for KMax. Yes. Storm Disruptor Archon as well. Does he actually have any Templar? Or did he just make those all into Archons? Has a Templar. That's good. Where are you, Templar? Where are you, single Templar? Here he is. Oh, he's at the front. 90. He has enough for one Storm. Enough for one Storm. Void Rays here on the right side getting picked off by Marines alone. No, Void Rays, no. No Void Rays. Why? They were alone just south of the main base. Not protected by anything. Not inside the main base. Not happy. Yeah, you lost your air component now. Yeah, did? Alright, so Disruptors need to hang back. They cannot A-move into the opponent like what happened previously. Stalkers in the front are going to get melted. Stalkers essentially gone at this point. Moving on in, though. Archon's not able to attack anything. Finally getting into the battle, but just getting murdered. Purification overcoming, hitting random stuff. Immortals taking care of this tank count fairly well. Are there enough Immortals to kill the tanks? Archon's trying to do it as well. Immortals a little bit confused as to what they need to do at this point in time, but they're all gone now. Archon's still alive for KMax. Archon has 3 kills. Templar changing themselves into Archons in the wrong place because there are Marines that shut this thing down. And the Archon gets exploded while it is in the morphing format. A bunch of Adepts warping in here for KMax to deal with these Marines. Nova comes down. Pretty good dodge. Pretty good dodge there by KaaRYN. So, Archon Adept great against Marine, turns out. There are still 3 tanks here for KaaRYN. Are they +3/+3 tanks? They are +3/+3 tanks out of KaaRYN. Yo, Void Ray, Disruptor coming in for KMax. It's 104 to 98 total supply. KaaRYN has a supply lead for the first time in a while. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Pretty sure it's been a while. Continuing to make Void Rays. I don't know if that's the correct decision here, as there are Vikings in the sky now. KaaRYN adjusting accordingly to what the Protoss player is doing. 4th base up and running for KMax. There are 4 cannons defending it that might give him enough time to save it when this army comes to murder it. Tanks setting up on siege mode, just out of range of those tanks. Those things will die so fast. Cannon 1, 2, and we'll make it 3. 3 volleys gone. The other cannons taking shots as well. Pylons getting killed, trying to come from the backside as KMax to sneak up on these tanks, and actually might get the tanks a little bit here. Running up to try to be defended by the Marines. The Marines swing around as well. Nova comes in, catching a bunch of Marines. Woo! There's the hit you needed. 7 kills on that Disruptor, and the tanks, now not supported by anything, are going to fall, but 10 kills on that tank. Congratulations. Reinforced, nope. Yeah, some reinforcing tanks forced to retreat there. Vikings getting the heck on out of there as well. Archon really wants to kill them. Can't do it, though. A little bit too slow. A little bit too slow, I think. Can't get close enough to attack, and so just going to head back to the safety of the friends. 101 to 99 total supply. Right about now. KMax with 4 bases. 5th base coming up for KaaRYN at that gold. At that gold where the supply depot has been for like 10 minutes now. I thought it was maybe to scout this place out, but I think it was more just to see attack paths that are being used by the Protoss players. So I like that. I like that play. Holy mules, Batman. Was that? Oh my gosh. That was 8 mules that got tossed down there. Income's going to skyrocket for the Terran player. Look at that. It is now 3,000 to 1,700 mineral income in favor of KaaRYN because of those mules on the gold base. Huge, huge, huge deal. Very massive. All right, so what do we got, KMax? KMax is taking a gold base as well. Gold Nexus there at the exact same time. Observer flying in, sees the gold base by KaaRYN, says, ah, crud. Oh, cruddly winks. That's going to be a problem. Disruptor, 7 kills on that Disruptor, no kills on that Disruptor. New to the battle, I think, is that Disruptor. So Zealots, without charge. I mean, if you're going to have Zealots at this stage in the game, just give them charge. I know it's 200. I know it is. Let's see. Where is our Twilight Council? There it is. He's getting charge. All right, KMax. Nicely done. Okay. So coming down south is KMax. Tanks, however, big problem. Vikings in the sky, getting rid of that mothership core. Disruptors A moving in. No, Disruptors, no! Oh, let's lift his Stalkers. They are going to do terrible against this composition. Archon in the back can't attack anything right now. Absolutely nothing can be done by that Archon. Finally shows up to the party. Well, after all the Stalkers are gone, Archon has 3 kills. Everybody turns to him, and he evaporates as well. So it is now 122 to 69 total supply. Army for KaaRYN is pushing on in. Not a huge army, mind you, but still bigger than what we've got out of KMax. A big warping of Adepts. Disruptor comes in at the same time. Charge still about 62 out of 100 from completing now. So gold base up for KMax. Nothing really mining out of it. Meanwhile, KaaRYN does have 10 SCVs at hers, which is an excellent, excellent place to be. Bum, 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 bum. Probes moving into the gold base, finally saturating it. 21 probes. Probably too many, but you know what? I don't know where else they could go. I guess there are still 4 mineral patches at the 3rd base that could be saturated, but moving in, Terran player going for that gold base. Stalkers and Adepts and Disruptors trying to stop this from happening. Tanks are not going into siege mode, actually. Disruptors do not walk up there without... Why are you A-moving? Why? Disruptors might actually die without causing any damage whatsoever. One of them does get taken out. Another one gets a Nova off and kills a few units, weakening a tank as well before it explodes. Vikings landing. Viking versus Adept, not something you see every day, but the Adepts are getting killed nonetheless. Tank manages to survive with 9 hit points and 6 kills to his name. Another slow warping of Zealots by KMax. Oh, that pylon's not touching the Nexus. Why? Why is it not touching the Nexus? Zealots finally making it to the battle. They have charge. They have +1/+1. Is it enough to take these units down? No, they are dying too quickly. And that might be all that she wrote for our Protoss player. I just don't see any way of coming back here, and that's it. The Rage Quit out of KMax, and KaaRYN is victorious. Well done by KaaRYN. Do you want to stay? Yes, I was going to say, are you going to stay and kill stuff? That's been happening a lot lately. No, does not want to stay and kill stuff. Is done with this game. It is time to leave as victory has been completed. Good PvT. Good little action-packed PvT there for Platinum. I'm actually fairly impressed. The things, again, you want to improve on as the Protoss player is not walking your disruptors into the other army. You can't put them on the same hotkey and just go A move. You got to have them on a separate hotkey or just not hotkey it at all. Manually keep them behind your army. Send Novas out. Use them for zoning. Use them for killing because so many disruptors died unnecessarily. 8 disruptors died. I like the idea to get Void Rays, but you got to get something to deal with the Marines if you're going to do that as well, KMax. So rough loss there. Rough loss, but KaaRYN doing things right. Fully upgrading tanks. We just don't see that. And against Protoss, who is going pretty heavy stalker, pretty darn useful. 45 stalkers killed, 52 adepts. 28 tanks got killed, though. That's a lot of tank. That is a lot of tank. 60 probes and 23 SCVs lost their lives in this game for the honor of their respective players. All right, so that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another edition of Mid-Rank Madness. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.